Namaste everybody and welcome all to the Global Oneness Festival, a month-long celebration on the occasion of Adi Shankara Acharya Prakat Din. Every year we celebrate. I will start with the Shanti part and Guru Vandana and two stanzas constructed by Adi Shankara Acharya and one stanza constructed by his Paratpar Guru Bhagavadpadacharya. And thereafter, I will introduce today's speaker we are privileged to have. Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Om Hari Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti 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 Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shlokardhena Pravakshyami Yaduktam Granthakotibihi Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha Kinjotistava Bhanumana Hanime Ratrau Pradipadikam Syadevam Ravidipa Darshanamidau Kinjotirakhya Hime Chakshustasya Nimilanadi Samaye Indriyo Darshane Kintatrahamato Bhavan Paramakam Jyotistarasmi Prabho Na Nirodhor Na Chotpattir Na Baddho Na Chasadhakaha Na Mumukshur Na Mai Mukta Ityesha Paramarthata. Hari Om. Viewers, we are really privileged to have Swamini Paraprajnananda ji on this occasion of Global Oneness Festival on the 5th edition. Swamini Paraprajnananda Saraswati is an erudite sannyasini, well versed with knowledge of scriptures, Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra, and other Vedantic texts. Swamini Paraprajnananda Saraswati is a student of revered Swamiji Viditatmananda Saraswati ji, president of Arsha Vidya Gurukulam, Salisbury, Pennsylvania, USA. Swami Viditatmananda Saraswati ji is also a founder of Acharya of Adhyatma Vidya Mandir, Ahmedabad, Gujarat, India. Adhyatma Vidya Mandir is an institute of learning and disseminating the knowledge of Vedanta. Swamini Paraprajnananda ji is resident sannyasin of Adhyatma Vidya Mandir. Swamini Paraprajnananda ji Saraswati has been teaching Vedanta for last 20 years in Ahmedabad and different cities of Gujarat. In 2016, Swamini conducted talks on Vedanta in different cities of USA, Salisbury, New Jersey, and Dallas. Swamini ji abides in the knowledge of the self and is also expert in imparting this knowledge to others. The depth of Swamini's wisdom and art of teaching, which is at once profound and lucid, make her an expert teacher from whom learning is a joy. Swamini Paraprajnananda ji Saraswati's experience as a professor of English in past facilitates her to adeptly handle the subject on the hand and communicate to the audience. Besides being a gifted teacher, Swamini ji is also a very simple and loving and compassionate as a person. Over to you, Swamini ji.
My namaskar to all the viewers. Today, we are going to talk on a very, very important value or quality called Titiksha, patient endurance without resentment. This is a very, very important value which we all must know about it and cultivate it and imbibe it in life. It will help us be happy and also spread happiness, and also it will make us wiser. Titiksha is generally understood as putting up with things. It is understood as forbearance or endurance. But this is not the correct understanding of it. It is not merely putting up with things, but as our title says, putting up or endurance with putting up or endurance without resentment. Sri Shankaracharya ji, whom we fondly know as Bhashyakara, beautifully defines this thing called Titiksha, this value called Titiksha in Vivek Chudamani. There he says, while defining Titiksha, Sahanam sarva dukkhanam apratikara purvakam chinta vilapa rahitam sa Titiksha nigadyate. It means that what is real Titiksha is to put up, to forbear, to tolerate or endure all kinds of difficulties and unpleasantness which occurs in our life without retaliation, apratikara purvakam, which means without retaliation. And again he adds the clause chinta vilapa rahitam, which means without anxiety, and vilapa, without complaining or crying about it. When we put up in this manner, it is called Titiksha. This is the beautiful definition of Titiksha, which we all must understand, and as I said, we must bring it in life. It is needed for wisdom, no doubt it is needed for wisdom and preparing us for higher goals, but it is needed for happiness and peace in our day-to-day life also. So let us now try to understand this value called Titiksha. As I said, there is no way out but to put up with things, because life is not a bed of roses. Everybody's life, nobody is an exception to that. There are bound to be ups and downs in life. We don't call all the shots. Life is more often than not what we imagine it to be or what we want it to be. And so there are different circumstances and unpleasantness coming from various sources. We can club them into three: Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, and Adidevika, which means these are the three main sources. In this, the entire cosmos is covered. These are the three main sources. Adhyatmika, which means there can be problems, there can be unpleasantness and difficult situations coming from my own body, from my own personality. Say, for instance, all of a sudden I come to know that I have some serious ailment in me. I'm suffering from a grave disease. All of a sudden this comes. Okay. There are many such things coming from the personal or from the personality level. That is called Adhyatmic source. We all are aware about it. Then there is another source called Adibhautika, which means there can be obstacles and challenging situations arising from external forces around us. Say, from people around us, people with whom we are working, people who are near to us, with whom we are related, and there can be other forces too. When we are working with people, there are many occasions when we find that people do not behave properly with us. Their behavior is offending, humiliating, and we often feel that we do not deserve this kind of things. But then we are facing those situations. There can be other situations also. Say, for instance, from weather, the situation or the environment and the climatic conditions can be very, very severe and difficult to put up with. Plus, The third source is Adidaivika, which means celestial forces. There can be problems arising from the celestial beings also. Say, for instance, we often say that my Saturn or my Rahu, that is, these planets, are not positioned in a way which will be conducive to me. They are placed such in my chart that they are in adversarial positions, which every so often make my life difficult. In short, there are there is no dearth of situations and sources which can make my life difficult. So these are the sources from where difficult situations can arise. And as I said, nobody's life is an exception to this. Not even Lord Rama or Lord Krishna. Their life, when we see their life, is also strewn with all kinds of ups and downs. More often we find that challenges are there, difficulties are there. So, and it is same with our lives too. So what I'm trying to say is this, that we do put up, we have sometimes no way out but to put up. But what is important is this, that how we put up, in what manner, what is the attitude with which I put up or endure these situations, and that is where Titiksha lies. And that is where we need to understand what Titiksha or forbearance or endurance really is. As I said, we often find people and ourselves also enduring difficulties, enduring difficult situations in life. But that is because we cannot face it. We are not in a position to raise our voice. We find ourselves helpless. Say for instance, in my workplace, my boss is being very difficult, but and humiliating me, always throwing his attitude on me. But still, I am not in a position to walk out or raise my voice against him, because I know what the consequences I will be facing. In such cases, we keep quiet. We keep quiet outside. But are we quiet inside? We do not say a word outside because of helplessness, or sometimes my own values do not allow me to raise my voice. Say in home or in a family, I may be facing difficult situation and unbecoming behavior from someone elder, someone closely related to me. But still, again, out of respect for them, I will keep quiet. So my values want me to keep quiet, but inside, I'm not quiet. Inside, lot of complaints, lot of crying, so many things goes on inside. This is not Titiksha. This is by no means Titiksha, because I'm quiet outside, but inside I'm not able to resolve the situation and move on. The situation is over. Sometimes we find the situations are over, but it still continues inside. The wound is raw. I have not been able to heal it in spite of the time that has gone by. Sometimes we see that people cannot forget this incident is over apparently, but inside it continues to go on. The wound is raw, and the person is not able to heal it, is not able to resolve it. Why? Because the impact of the situation or the incident was so much that we did keep quiet. The person did keep quiet that time, but is breaking himself inside. So when we merely put up and are not able to resolve it inside, then the consequence or the result is this, that my emotional health is affected, and that in due course of time is bound to affect my physical health also. So merely putting up with a difficult situation without resentment, without understanding, is totally detrimental. It is totally detrimental to ourselves. And we do see that for years together, people suffer. Women in particular, it can apply to man also and to children also. But I have seen that women particularly suffer like anything. They are suppressed. They are suppressing themselves. So they keeping quiet outside, not doing anything about it, and then continue to think about it, continue to keep that wound raw inside, is definitely going to break the person. And this is what is happening around us. So what happens is, the volcano, the buildup is there. The volcano is very much live inside, and we have no idea. We have no idea how many volcanoes are there around us. We ourselves are also a walking volcano. The lava which is going on inside, the lava of resentment, the lava of anger, suppression, disappointment, frustration that is going on inside, is bound to burst anytime. It is bound to burst anytime, and I will have no control over it. And then what will happen? You can just imagine. When it bursts, it is burning me today, and thereafter it will burn others also. So just keeping quiet without resolving the situation, without resolving the incident, is not Titiksha, and it doesn't help anyone. And that is why it is so important. It is very, very important. In fact, it is the need of the hour to understand this value. This value has to be understood in its entirety, not just the half thing, just putting up. No. Bhashya has said that the other half, which our title says, is that patient endurance without resentment. There should be no we cannot order, we cannot say that there should not be resentment, but that resentment will not arise provided we understand, provided we become larger than the situation. And so everybody, but everybody has to understand this value very well in its entirety. We have to understand and resolve the situation so much that we can move on without any trail of the incident. And we move on, not only we move on, but we become wiser and bigger than the situation. And so this calls for a lot of understanding on our part. Otherwise, it is just suppression and build-up. So now let us discuss how we understand the situation and how we resolve it without resentment, because that part is important. Endurance, patient endurance without resentment, without pratikara, without chinta, without vilapa. As I said, we have no control over the outside situations. How things will be next moment we cannot say. In short, we do not call all the shots. Life does not go as per my wishes. And so, situations, circumstances are bound to arise. As Lord Krishna says, Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkha daha. When you come in contact with the world, Lord Krishna says in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, when sense organs come in contact with the world outside, when you come in contact with the people, this contact is bound to be either pleasant or unpleasant, either heat or cold, either full of respect or censure, anything. So these pairs of opposites are there in life. It is a fact of life. But Lord Krishna says, Agama paino nityaha tam stitikshasva Bharata. O Bharata, O Arjuna, these are, understand that these are bound to Agama paina, which means they are subject to coming and going. May you bear with them. But bear with them in which manner? With which understanding? With the we have to understand, and this calls for maturity. This calls for a higher perception. And let us talk about that. Let me give you, let us first start with our contact with people. When we come in contact with some people, which is happening every day. When I have some, when in our workplace, for instance, when I'm doing my work, and my boss or with some other people, I'm having some problem, and they humiliate me. They always come with a very arrogant and impudent behavior. Their behavior is very overbearing. Now what to do? As I said, we are not in a position to retaliate. So what to do? So I resolve it. In which manner? We have to understand. Let us understand the person from whom that kind of behavior is originating. Let us understand that person, the source from where this unpleasantness is coming towards me. Perhaps the person has this kind of tendency. Their upbringing is such that they have always have had to throw this kind of behavior. We have an overbearing attitude. Their samskaras, their tendencies are this. And behind this is understand that there is some insecurity. Without insecurity, without fear, this would not come. So let us understand that they are bound by their nature. This nature, this kind of disposition which they happen to show has become very, very deep into them. It is strongly embedded in them, and they have never got a chance to look into that. They lack that kind of sensitivity. And the source is maybe this has been going on since their childhood. Maybe their upbringing was such, and in all likelihood, they are carrying these tendencies, these personality traits from past lives also. It is not all of a sudden that person has this kind of behavior. This has been there, and they have never got a chance to correct it, or they lack that strength to correct it, and they are bound. They are, in fact, helpless before their own weaknesses. Anger is a weakness. Jealousy is a weakness. It is a sign of insecurity and not strength. Let us understand this well. That what they are throwing at us is their problem. It is not their beauty. They are insecure. This is their weakness. To cover up their weakness, to cover up their limitations, they are doing this. It is undoubtedly a sign of weakness and not strength. When I understand this, I will be able to forgive them. I will have sympathy for them because they are weak, not strong. And for weak people, for insecure people who cannot handle themselves, there are problems inside which they have not handled. They are not strong enough to handle that and get rid of it. And understand that they themselves are suffering from it. No angry person can be happy. No jealous person can be happy. No arrogant person can be happy inside. They are not at peace with themselves. So what is coming out is out of helplessness. When we sit down and understand in this way, we will sympathize with them and we will forgive them and move on. We have to move on. We will move on without resentment. Okay, they have done it. I'm big enough to understand from where it is coming and I forgive and not hold it against them. I do not even retaliate. Why? Because every time that is not going to be a solution. Eye for eye attitude again is not proper. That is not going to bring an end to this. Whereas when I come forward by understanding them, by forgiving them, and then forgetting it, then I move on. It is necessary for my happiness as well as for their happiness too. In this way, we can resolve. Second thing which we have to understand is that they are helpless, yes. Plus, there can be a question in our mind sometimes that why do they not change? Why are they responsible for others' unhappiness? Why are they causing so much of pain to others? Do they not realize what pain they are inflicting upon others? If they were humiliated, then what? Yes, perhaps they even realize this, but they are too weak to change themselves. Understand that to bring about a change in our nature, in our disposition is not easy. It is not easy at all. It calls for a lot of maturity. It calls for a lot of determination and a readiness and resolve to change, which they are lacking. So even if they want to change, they are not in a position. They cannot show that much of resolve or determination to change. So it is not easy for anyone to bring about a change in themselves unless they work hard for it. And these people are not able to do that. So we even forgive them, forget all this on this point also, and move on without resentment. So that my heart is clear, my mind is clear. No trace of that humiliation or disquiet remains in my mind. Thirdly, I also have to, a very, very important fact of life is this, that we have to understand the law of karma. That I am facing difficult situations in life in terms of my own problems coming from outside, coming from Adi Daivika celestial forces and so on. There is a reason for it. This also we have to understand very well. This calls for a lot of maturity and knowledge too. There is a thing called law of karma. There cannot be any effect without a cause. Effect presupposes a cause. There is the rule, the law of Ishvara, and Ishvara himself is this law that as you sow, so shall you reap. What comes before me, it even sounds harsh to say this, that what I am facing is I myself am responsible for it. Yes, it sounds harsh, but it is a fact. that what I'm seeing before me is an effect for which there is a cause. I have no clue why this is there before me. I have done nothing to face this. My life so far has been very simple. I have never heard people do say like this. I have never hurt anyone. I have done no wrong. Why this has to happen in my life? Yes, but we have to understand. Then and then, Titiksha will come forth from us. There is this law of karma. Maybe not now. Maybe not even in early past. But maybe in some life, I have no idea. In some life, I may have consciously or unconsciously hurt someone. I may have consciously or unconsciously disturbed the harmony of the cosmos. There is a harmony, there is an order in the cosmos, which I'm supposed to follow, which I'm supposed to uphold. I have no business. I have no business whatsoever to disturb or inflict a dent in the order or the harmony which obtains in the creation. But because of my free will and because of certain pressures inside, of certain desires, if I abuse my free will and inflict pain elsewhere, give unhappiness to others, snatch away what belongs to them. In short, when an unbecoming behavior comes forth from me, which results in pain elsewhere, then sooner or later I will have to pay for it. There is no escape. There is no escape at all. There is no lacuna in the order of the creation. There is no lacuna in this law of karma of Ishvara. It will extract the answer from me. And when I understand this, then it will help me to resolve the current situation which I am facing, which otherwise is not easy to eschew, which otherwise is not easy to swallow and forget. And that is what we see, that when people lack this understanding, then they complain, they fight, they are frustrated. They never come out of this they never come out of the situation. They even fight with Ishvara. They even declare, I do not believe in you. Why? Because you did this to me. Are Ishvara is not punishing. This is the law. And understand, Ishvara, this what has come before me, we should not look upon it as punishment. It is not a punishment. It has come to make me wiser. It has come to make me stronger, to make me aware of the law, so that I live my life as a responsible human being. When we have this understanding, it definitely helps us resolve this. It definitely helps us endure the circumstances without resentment. And we move on. I accept it. I accept it. Okay. And I put up with it, but happily. Not happily, but okay, fine. Let Ishvara do whatever he wants to do. I will accept that there will be graceful acceptance from my side. Gracefully, I will accept it. Not with complaints, not with crying inside, but gracefully. Okay. This is there for me. Okay, fine. I must be responsible for this in some way. Okay, fine. Let me proceed. let me be wiser today. So, this is a very, very important understanding of the law of karma. Lord Rama also, as I said, nobody is an exception to this. Lord Rama also, on the previous night, the news is of coronation. And then before the dawn is there, the news came, or he was exiled. From coronation to the anticlimax was exile, and exile for 14 years. But what was the reaction? How did Lord Rama take up? Absolutely without any resentment. Never did he question as to why this with me? What have I done to deserve this? And that too coming from my father, coming from my mother. What have I done? There is no chinta, no anxiety as to what will happen to me in the forest. How will I pass my time there? No vilapa, no crying, and no retaliation. No, I will fight this. Accepted it without a single word. And he was absolutely composed, absolutely equipoised. Because this is what is there in store for me. He took it in his stride. Of course, he is Lord, and that is why Lord Rama is ideal for us. He is setting up this ideal. He's setting which we have to imbibe and understand, because this happens with our life too. Nobody is an exception. Tomorrow anything can happen. Next moment anything can happen. And so we need to understand that it can come. But what is my approach? What is my attitude towards this? Let me understand this very well. So this is how we take. And further, if I need to do something about it, every time, it's not necessary that we just, okay, this has happened and I put up with it. No, Titiksha is not that. If I can do something about it, I merrily and very well do it. Say for instance, it is winter and I'm feeling cold in my room at night and the window is open. So now Titiksha doesn't mean that I endure the cold. No, I can very well get up and shut the window. That will help me. But in spite of shutting the window, and still if I am feeling cold, I have to put up with it. So we should know this difference. There are situations where we can do something. So let us do it. Titiksha doesn't mean every time we just put up and resolve. No. If we can do something with the situation, if we can change it, if we can make it conducive to us, please do it. But know the difference, that there are times when I cannot. There are times when I have no say over the matter at all. And in such occasions, I understand. And that will be real Titiksha. That constitutes Titiksha. Otherwise, if I go on all the time fighting, all the time trying to make the situation more comfortable and more conducive to me, there is no end to it. There is no end to it. All our time, and moment something happens which is little unpleasant, then also we just spend all our time and energy in doing that. In that way, if we go to do that, then whole our life will go away only in making things conducive. All our energy and all our precious time will be taken up by that. So it is necessary that we learn to put up in life. Putting up, enduring is necessary. And when it is we find this very challenging with people, because we always feel that people have no business to talk like this with us, behave like this with us, and it is understandable. But again, going back to that point, yes, they are having some problems with their own personality, and you cannot do anything of this. Is natural, this is bound, this is their helplessness with their own nature that is coming out. Here I would like to cite a very famous incident of a saint from Maharashtra. There was a saint, very famous saint whose name I forget at this moment, but he once went to river Godavari for taking a dip in that river. There are always people in the society, somehow, unfortunately, who cannot who cannot stand such saintly people. They will always try to harass them, do something to harass them, and make their life difficult. So here also there was a person who did not like this saint, and so when he took a dip into Godavari, and when the saint came out from the river and was going back, this person spitted on him. This saint did not utter a single word. There was no resentment on his face. He again went to the river and took a dip into it, came out, and is going ahead. Again, this person spitted on him. This person cannot stand him, so spitted on him. Again, this saint goes to the river and takes a dip. Again, the same thing was repeated. This went on and on for 108 times, not less than 108 times. Every time he comes out, this fellow spits at him. Again, the saint goes to the river, takes a dip, and comes out. Then, at the end, after when it was once 108 times, then this person who did all this to harass him fell. He was so humble and so remorseful that he fell down at the feet of this saint and said, I'm very sorry, sir. I beg your pardon. I've committed a great crime, but please forgive me. You are a saint. You are a Bhagavan. And please forgive me for this. What was the reply of the saint? The saint said, you have not done anything. In fact, I thank you, because it is because of you, thanks to you, that I today got an opportunity to take a dip in this river for 108 times. And I'm totally sanctified, thanks to you. This was the reply. But it is this incident and this thing from the saint, this acceptance and this Titiksha from the saint, which transformed that person. Which transformed. Had he retaliated, perhaps he would not have transformed. In fact, his vengeance, his anger would have increased. But it was this Titiksha which transformed him. So, if we want to this transformation can come not through the doors of fighting or retaliating, an eye for eye attitude, continuing with all that. No. This transformation in others, this change in others, this change of heart, this remorse can come only and only when we forgive them. When it is forgiven with large-heartedness, and in spite of whatever they have done, you accept them, you accommodate them, then this change or transformation can usher in. So this one value called Titiksha can make a person saint and can enable others to transform. And that is why also it is necessary. Never think that because I cannot speak that I am keeping quiet. You should keep quiet with harsh-heartedness and not out of helplessness. Try to resolve with acceptance. Understand the person, understand where the other person is, what problems they are facing. They are going through a lot of problems. Their own, they cannot handle their own problems. They cannot handle their own anger and jealousy and all that. So we help them. We help them handle that. We help them come out of it, not by fighting and retaliation, but with love, with sympathy, with care, with large-heartedness. This will not only make us happy, but it will also make them happy. So this Titiksha, this is what Titiksha is, and this is what is needed. Okay, when I am facing some problems with my own self, say for instance with my body, there are many ailments, old age, disease, so many things are there. It is definitely painful. It's not easy. It is easily said than done. Definitely painful. It gives me a lot of pain. What can I do? I try everything. Medicines are tried. I visit a doctor, and whatever is needed, whatever can be done is being done. And yet the ailment remains. Okay. I'm just giving an instance because this is something, this kind of things are there in our lives. So again here, rather than getting frustrated, rather than getting disappointed and just being very, very unhappy, yes, pain is there, but if I understand this, that okay, this is there because of a certain cause, I put up with it. Put up not with complaints that why Lord, why Ishvara is doing this to me. No, not with that kind of approach or attitude. What has happened has some cause. I accept it and learn something from this. I learn something from this. Then I will become wiser. So this graceful acceptance, when I do that, then also it is then also I can move on. And otherwise, I will all the time be unhappy with and not be able to handle my ailment. This has happened to me, and now I'm going to die, and this and that. I have seen so many people who are who have very well accepted their fate, and still they are happy. Whatever time is left with them, they can accept it and live happily, gracefully. They can accept. There can be other things also. See, our near and dear may pass away. I know of a case where young parents lost their child. That it was very difficult for them to accept the situation. But nothing is going to help them. No matter what they do, the child is not going to come back. And they will never forget it. But when this was explained to them, that Titiksha is this, we have no control over what is happening. We have no control over what can happen. But definitely, we have control over how we take it. What is our approach what is our attitude towards it? There we have some control. There we have all the control. We have no control over the outside forces, but we have control over our mind, over our understanding. And that is where, if we take it with Titiksha endure, patient endurance without resentment. Okay, this has happened. We were perhaps destined to be together only for this much time. Some karmas brought us together. Now that karmas are over, and so now we depart. This coming together and even departing is also destined. That is also all written. So I cannot fight about it. I have to accept it. I have to grow. I have to become mature. I should know the realities of life. My insistences, my agrahas will not work. They will always inflict pain on that. They will help me to inflict pain on myself. Rather than that, we have to rise above the situation. Always take a step behind. Always rise above. Become bigger and larger than the situation. Because anything can happen in anybody's life. Things are all hunky-dory now. But suddenly, the things may change. Sometimes when we show our chart to all the Jyotish, etc., astrologers, they do say that now the Saturn is in this position, Rahu is in this position, so on and so forth. Okay, I cannot. Okay, at the most I can pray. If that prayer is going to bring about some change in the situation, fine, do that. But if it doesn't change, Titiksha is required. Titiksha is a must. Titiksha, not the half, but I just keep quiet. What else? We have to keep quiet. No, keeping quiet and enduring without resentment, without chinta, what will happen? Nothing is going to happen. If we are strong, if our attitude is correct, then perhaps the situation will change, because I am healthy inside. I am all strong inside. That will reflect outside too. But if we are broken, totally broken, emotionally as well as physically, nothing is going to help. But let the situation be what it is. I have the strength to face it. I have the strength to face it. And that is where Titiksha, the real Titiksha, comes in. Some of this pain, just as when we do yogasana exercises and we go to gym and all that, we actually invite pain. When we do asanas, the limbs are not bending, but we bend them. We deliberately do it. So that time the pain is there. We invite that pain. But what is the result? The end result is my muscles, my body becomes stronger, gives me a different strength, gives me stamina. I do it. Similarly, things come in life. But situations are difficult. Circumstances just go haywire. But I must teach myself that they have come to teach me something. They have come to make me stronger. When this attitude is there, I can very well face the situation, plus come out stronger. Come out stronger. So, not only will it help me, but it will help my surroundings too. Because when we are facing a situation with this kind of understanding and attitude, it is bound to be a lesson for others to follow. We will be setting an example, and in every way, in our encounter with people, in our context, when we are facing difficult people, in spite of they being what they are, when I can accept large-heartedly, without resentment, total acceptance is there, definitely I am going to spread happiness. I am going to accommodate everyone. So in every way, this value called Titiksha, which means patient endurance without resentment, is helpful. Not only is it helpful, it is a must in life. If we have it, then life will not be that difficult, and we'll be happily forging ahead with life. Lord Krishna says in the second chapter of Gita to Arjuna that when these circumstances are coming in life, he says, Yam hi na vyatayantyete purusham purusharshava samadukha sukham dhiram somrutatvaya kalpati. He says, one who is not disturbed by them, one who is not in any way disturbed or affected by the situations, obstacles, circumstances, people, difficult people, then one who is not of yamhina vyatayantyet, one who is not affected by this, he is the bull among men. Purusham purusharshava, he is bull among men, and who remains equipoised, calm and composed due to this value called Titiksha. Then so amrutatvaya kalpati, he is ready, he is eligible for the great truths of life. For the great truths of life is all ready. So we are ready for the wisdom. In fact, this itself is wisdom. Thus, in short, this value is absolutely necessary in life. Without this, we cannot be happy. If we do not have this, there will be nothing but pain, frustration, sorrow, stress, disappointment. Oh, what has God done to me? My life is nothing but this. I've constantly been suffering. This is going to be. But if we have this Titiksha, let situations be what they are. Let people be what they are. But I have an upper hand. And I'm going to come out stronger and wiser. So this is what Titiksha is. Thank you very much. I enjoyed talking with you all. Namaskar.
Namaste, Swamini. It was a very insightful discussion or explanation by you on a single verse of Adi Shankara Acharya. Sahanam sarvadukhanam pratikara purvakam chinta vilaparahitam sa titiksha nigadyate. Titiksha is a part of one of the 6 Shat Sampada, which is in turn part of the Sadhan Chatushtaya Sampannatva. Titiksha, as you very kindly explained, is useful both in the Shreyas as well as Abhyuday. It was very insightful for us. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Tomorrow we have Vidwan Manikandan Iyer explaining Bhagavadpadacharya tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock.